Hey, my name is Azeem Ahmad, and I'm from Linköping University, together with Kristen Sandel and Ola Liefler. And we are doing research on flaky tests in collaboration with Software Center. So the question that I received during my poster session that what is test flakiness? And that's when I told them that this is what we are trying to find out. But if we talk very on a general level, that a test case that exhibit both pass and fail outcome when you haven't changed anything. You haven't changed the source code, you haven't changed the test code, you haven't changed the input. And everything was working yesterday. Everything was green, and now it's red. And when you are confused, you rerun, and then they again green. So what happens that it affects your confidence level on the test suite. That if something is red and green, it means that my test suite is not up to the standard. And when we did this survey with 4 different companies in Sweden, 9 participants, we find out that when they find test flakiness, they spend up to several hours to find out that what's going on, because they have to dig deep. And most of them said that 1 to 5% of their test cases are flaky. So I understand that 1 to 5% is less, but if you are running 1 million test case, you can imagine this percentage. Even Google mentioned that they have 2.5 million test case that is flaky. And when last night I was talking to someone over the dinner, he said that in the previous project, 70% of the test case were flaky. So this is a dangerous thing that affects your confidence over the test suite. So all the research that has been done at this moment in academia about test flakiness is on the code level. Don't use thread.sleep. Look at the race condition, dependency configurations, all those things that has been done. And it's a very widely area that is being researched right now. What we are doing is we're going out of the code level. What are the factors against your environment, your system under test, that really affect test flakiness? So we have 3 goals. The first goal is to find a systematic way to detect test case and prevent. At this moment, the only strategy that is being developed is rerun the test case. And then you find the test flakiness. So there is no design review. There is nothing that comes before you write a test case that should accommodate flaky test. You rerun the test case, and then you find out. So we are trying to work to prevent test case flakiness. And we have identified factors and their effect. So some factor can increase test flakiness, which we find out. Some factors can decrease test flakiness. And we have also found out that when you combine 2 factors, they have a different effect. After this study, we also have to go one step back. What is the perception of the developer about test flakiness? For example, one of the developers said that a test case is flaky if it isn't robust enough to handle all the uncertainties of the environment. So my test case should be ready enough to handle all uncertainties. If the network is down, if the port is not available, if the configuration is not available, my test case should do that. Okay. Another developer said that no, test case is flaky if it is not a simple test case. 1 assertion per test case. So we realized that people have a different perception about test flakiness. And that's what we are trying to capture in this study. The perception of the developer and the identify factor. And the third thing we are working is the plugin. It's underway. We have taken known test smells. So the plugin is a Jenkins plugin. If you write a test case, you submit it, and then the plugin will determine how much likely this test case is to flaky based on the static analysis. And if we are working on this. So these are the factors we have found out, and we have found out their effect, increase, detect, and decrease. And we had noticed, like I said earlier, it's not the independent factor. 2 or 3 factors, when they are combined together, they have an adverse or very severely effect on the flakiness. For example, lack of environment understanding and complex system. So imagine when these 2 things will combine, what will happen? And that's this study is about. And how did we get this factor? We interviewed, we identified the code and the effect, and then we make a textual description. So we have identified 22 unique factors, but these factors are not related to the code, like thread.sleep or resource optimization, no. They are mostly around your system under test. For example, lack of environment understanding, complex system, you should test the test, and hard coding, and all these factors. We have identified 17 logical description that when you combine one factor with another factor, Does it increase test flakiness or does it decrease test flakiness? And measure perception. So that's what we're trying to capture in this study, that how people perceive test flakiness. Sometimes test is not flaky, it's just a bad test case. So are you accommodating all those attributes for whether my test cases are bad or not? So we need to see when we should blame the test to be flaky. Is the environment flaky? Is the system under test flaky? Because sometimes test is completely good. The source code is flaky. So all this is about in this research. And if you are interested in this study to participate, please reach to me and fill the survey, and we can share finding with you. At this moment, this is an unpublished result, because we are trying not, these factors shouldn't be traced back to the companies we are working. We're working with 4 companies. So, but if you are interested, then you can fill the survey and we can talk more about it. Yeah. Thank you.
Thank you very much.